Well, it is said that he who wears the shoe knows exactly the point where it pinches. So when Africa's richest man, Nigerian-born industrialist Aliko Dangote, says smuggling is killing Nigeria's industrialization efforts, then as well as the problems with power and why we need to get infrastructure in place, we need to listen. He also spoke about import substitution. So he is an industrialist, and he knows how all these problems come together to put some knock into what his business group is doing, as well as many others. And that's part of what he told the audience of the Emefiele's Business Leaders Meeting just a few days ago. Let's take a listen to Aliko Dangote on these issues.
And the biggest challenge that we have is that of implementation. And I think we need to have a bigger conversation, not only this one. After this one, yes, we'll write whatever that we want to write, but we need to have a bigger conversation with all the stakeholders, where Minister of Finance, Minister of Economy, Minister of Budget and Planning, and all the other players will sit down and say, okay, fine, look, what's wrong with us? Why can't we deliver? Because if you look at it now, you are talking about growth. How do you have growth without power? It's not possible. No power, no growth. That's what it is. That's, that is a simple word. No power, no growth. Egypt, they've gone through massive crisis, which we have never ever seen before, which is the uprising, and I hope we are not going to have one. By the grace of Almighty God, we are very prayerful people, but I think sometimes they say that if you pray hard, if you pray hard without working hard, God will not answer your prayer. So I think we need to look at it. Egypt increased 10 gigawatts, which is 10,000 megawatts, in 18 months. We've been struggling for 18 years without adding 1,000 megawatts. And we have spent 3-4 times the amount of Egypt. Why? So I think we all have to be concerned and try and partner, both us and the government. And I keep saying this, that look, when you look at the contribution to GDP and also the economy itself, out of maybe 100 trillion or something, government is only 17-20%. Okay? 80% at the minimum is private sector. So we are not like other African countries where government will just come and say, well, up you go. Even if they say up you go, and then the players now sit down and keep watching, nothing will happen. So I think we need to have that partnership, because all of us will benefit. There's actually nothing that is wrong with us to partner. Today, for companies that we have, if you really do the numbers, for some of our companies that were out, after your 5 years tax holiday, unless you keep growing and keep expanding, you'll end up giving more money to government than the shareholders. And you can have the numbers, it's simple. If you make 50 billion, I gave an example. In our sugar business, we made 55 billion, 2017. Okay, and we paid 32% corporate and education tax. We shared dividend of, I think, was 35 billion. Oh, no, not 35, sorry, about 30 billion. We paid 10% was holding. When you take also the VAT you generated out of the business and you pay that VAT, eventually the government will have almost about 52%. Whereas the balance, the reserve of the company, the shareholders, funds, and also the dividend that you paid is 48%. So really, government need to encourage people. You need hundreds of, maybe, okay, not hundreds, maybe you need maybe 20 Dangotes, 20 Jim Ovias, 20 Oba Otideko, all of us here. So that government does not rely on oil to be paying salaries. It's a pity. They need to collect their taxes from us and pay salaries. that of oil should go into major investment infrastructure. You know, so that is what we need to do. Today, as we speak, you look at, for example, Lagos. The population of Lagos has actually grown, even from the time that I came to Lagos in 1978, which is 41 years ago. But I've only seen 2 or 3 additional bridges in Lagos. We need to do more. We need to build, you know, infrastructure in government is like us building and creating new, you know, businesses, you know, building, buying new equipment. And when you look at it, we, the private sector, are the only ones that will partner with government and create this. It is not difficult. It could be done. I know it is hard. But a lot of us, we are the ones that should drive this process. No foreigner will come and invest unless we, the locals, invest in our own economy. And it could be done. I mean, like what I was telling somebody, yes, it's true. We took a very huge project, and I'm sure I'll get the list of the people here. Maybe sometime in August or so, we'll invite people to come and see what, you know, what we are doing. I was with the Minister of Energy, Industry, and Mineral Resources of Saudi Arabia during the fasting time. He invited me to come and break the fasting with him in Mecca and also pray. So when I went there, he was asking that, yeah, he wanted to know what made us to start building a refinery. And I explained to him that, well, we believe that it is badly needed. He said he knows, but do I know that apart from Reliance and ESA, no individual has ever built a refinery? It is normally big corporations or governments. And then he mentioned to me about their own strategy. And if you hear it, then you can say, okay, well, what's wrong with us then? Because what he's saying is that, look, in the next few years, most of the oil produced by Saudi Arabia, they will not go and sell crude. They want to sell products. They want to turn it to white products and sell. And that's why, you know, he told me that they control 56% of the oil in South Korea, 46% in Malaysia. You know, so what they are doing is that they go to a country, they build the refinery, but they will only go to countries where they don't have oil. Because I said, okay, fine, why don't you now come, we partner, so we can now make sure Nigeria, you know, combine. He said that, no, they want to go to maybe South Africa. Because South Africa, they don't have oil, but Nigeria will have oil. So if we have, the only people who will sort out that issues are the Nigerians themselves. You know, and these are the sort of things that we need to be doing. Because yes, at the time when we finish, we start paying taxes, government will benefit. Because it's not a small thing. You are talking of, we'll end up having a revenue of 9 trillion. 9 trillion is almost equivalent to the federal government's budget. That could only be done by a private sector. The same industry that we're building, if it's government, it will take 10 years, it will take 10 times the amount. So we need to look at these things. And the other issue, Mr. Governor, that we need to do, both yourself, you can't fight it alone, but yourself, all the other ministries of finance and maybe, well, finance mainly, because of customs. What is killing us the most is smuggling. Smuggling is what has actually killed almost most of our industries, because the Republic of Benin, and I know, you know, social media, maybe before I even leave here, it will be all over, but that's the truth. I don't care, I have to say the truth all the time. There is no country that can survive with a neighbor like Republic of Benin. Because their main job is to facilitate smuggling. Okay, and that is why, yes. No, there are no Nigerians. There are the people there in Republic of Benin doing this smuggling. You know, somebody will now say, yes, why don't you, you know, you should be competitive. please, people just keep making comments on issues that they don't even understand. Say, yeah, we go now, make sure your own cost of production is cheap. Okay, now the governor of Central Bank is saying, yes, the banks, they will have a security guard, they will generate their power, they will have their servers, so many things. Okay, that is one. But you see, with us, we have issues that everybody is a power. Once you are in a big industry, you have to, if you want to be successful, you have to be a power generator also. You have to generate your own power. And even in some countries where we don't have our own power, today we are suffering because, there are issues. For example, in even Ethiopia, that they are growing at 8.8% or so. Just last week, they wrote to us to please shut down our factory for 2 weeks. How do you shut down a plant of $600 million? But we had to shut down the plant for 2 weeks because they have low water, and almost whatever they generate is through, hydro. But yes, we know it is not their fault. But this is one of the risks that you face when you operate in a country, or in Africa generally. But, it is also the best place. If somebody asks me, okay, fine, what about Nigeria? We just had a meeting with some Singaporeans, and, the guy said that, look, they are doing, palm business, Wilma. I'm sure you know Wilma. And Wilma said that this is the best place they have seen to really go head-on on agriculture. And when you look at even the Asian tigers, what they have concentrated on were 3 things: finance, manufacturing, and agriculture. They did their land reform, and majority of them, they are even competing with each other. Today in Nigeria, luckily for us, the banking, they've done very, very well. That's why you can see, I can actually see my face right from here on Ike's head. You can see how it is shining. So really, when you look at it, we need to really focus on these areas where, yes, agriculture, manufacturing and finance. Finance, they've done very, very well. Actually, we really thank the government for having this banking consolidation. And I think I must congratulate Godin for doing a great job, and that's why I think he made history by getting second term. Normally, central bank and some states in Nigeria, they are marked that you don't have second term. But the man has been able to now, have, he's gone down in history that he has gotten his second term. So congratulations, and we hope and pray that your own other people on the other side of physical will cooperate with you so that we can go to the next level.